The one thing that really hurts my heart in this country is how many selfish people are in this country. I have always believed in my heart that most people are inherently good. MAGA are not that. You're not. You're selfish. If you didn't see rape as a red line, you're selfish. If you didn't see felonies, you're selfish. If you didn't care about the officers on January 6th who took their own lives a year afterwards, from the PTSD and the officers that had long-term disabilities, you're selfish. If you don't care about women in Texas and across this country that are dying from sepsis because you took away their health care, you're selfish. Right now, we have children in concentration camps and 34 people have lost their lives. And not one of you, MAGA, give a damn. What's really rich is when I started doing this a couple years ago on TikTok, the thing that caused me to leave the Republican Party was so many Pharisees, which are MAGA with gold crosses. They're fake Christians. They're the people that Jesus kicked out of the church. And you all preach, love thy neighbor as thyself is the greatest commandment. And yet the only person you seem to care about and love is yourself and your bank account. That's why you're not Christians, because you don't give a damn about anybody in this country. You're so stuck on abortion. It's so stupid and so short-minded, so selfish. You want to force a woman to give birth because, let's go about this, because I'm really sick and tired of you people saying you're pro-life because you're not. But you voted for a man that rapes women. You didn't care about their lives that were affected. You don't care about the fact that he's defending child molesters by not releasing the Epstein files. Let's be real. He's on there more than Jesus is mentioned in the Bible. He did some pretty horrible shit to little girls, but you're not going to care, right? Because nobody's perfect. Don't care about their lives. The officers on January 6th that took their own lives, the one that died the next day, the ones that have long-term disabilities, you don't give a damn about their lives. How about the lives of people that are being snatched by ICE officers, off-duty officers that are black, just because they're being racially profiled. People being drugged out of their house butt naked, just because they're not white. How about the 34 people that died in concentration camps? Do you care about their lives? How about the 40,000 people that die every year from gun violence? Do you care about their lives? You don't. How about the 14 million kids who go to school hungry? No, nothing to see here, right? Nothing you could do. But you'll pass dozens of laws about 10 transgender athletes in all of college sports. You don't love thy neighbor as thyself. You don't give a damn about your neighbor. That's why you're not people of faith. And you're exactly what's wrong with this country. I voted for John McCain when he ran for office. You know why? It was the speech that we all know of when before it was MAGA, the white trash base that was just wanting to own the libs, being racist, saying, well, he's just a Muslim and he's going to destroy America. And he said, man, we're not going to do that. Senator Obama and I might have a difference of opinion on how to solve the country, but he's a decent person. We see the problems the same way. We just have a different way of solving them. That day, he earned my vote. And the second term, my favorite president, Barack Obama, I voted for him because he did a damn good job. See, I voted for Republican, Democrat. They were both morally respectful people who wanted what was best for the country. Neither one of them assaulted women. Neither one of them was a convicted felon. Neither one of them cheated on their wives with a porn star or made fun of disabled people. They were decent human beings. And what you all have done is been so selfish, so stuck on owning the libs and hating a group of people so much, so filled with bigotry and racism and white supremacy that you would rather burn this country to the ground. You would rather eat garbage butt naked on the side of a street, homeless with no shoes on, and you would still vote for Republican because you're so stupid and so damn selfish. That's the part out of all this that really is really hard for people to accept. You don't give a damn about anybody except for yourself. And I had that conversation. I asked the MAGA, how did you vote for a rapist? Well, he was the better candidate. He was better for the economy. And I said, no, you just don't want to vote for the black woman. The guy with 6 bankruptcies, 3 failed marriages. He can't even keep his wedding vows. He's such a horrible piece of human trash. Who never gave you a health care plan. Who caused an insurrection. That's the guy that's going to be great for the economy. But that's not even the point. The point is that you care more about your bank account than other people in this country. That's the part that's really sad. You really, in your heart of hearts, don't give a damn. It's easier for a camel to get through the eye of a needle than for MAGA to get into heaven, because that's exactly what's going to happen on Judgment Day. Now, I have never preached on here, but I'm going to tell you one thing. For all of your MAGA families, there is a right side of history and there is the MAGA side of history, and they are all serving an antichrist. That is why I do this. This is my talent that I've been given because of my childhood. They are all going to stand before God. The Stephen Millers, the Trumps, the J.D. Vances, all of them. All of them. And God's going to sit there and say, tell me what you did to stop the shootings from Sandy Hook or Uvalde. Why did you vote for the man that caused an insurrection and these fine officers are up here in heaven with me? How about Uvalde, Parkland? What are you going to say? But God, I own the libs. But God, I stopped abortions. I forced women to die in your name. And you're all going to spend a long time with Jeffrey Epstein. So this is your chance to stop being full of hate. You cannot serve 2 masters. You cannot live in both light and darkness. You cannot worship Donald Trump, an antichrist, an earthly king, and serve the God of Abraham. You cannot do it. And for people that aren't religious, I don't care if you worship a grasshopper. If that makes you happy, be happy. Be an atheist, be Muslim, be Catholic, whatever you want to do. You live your life the way you want. See, that's what a person of faith does. Because God doesn't stop it. And for all of you fake MAG out there with your fake Christianity, why doesn't God stop abortions, huh? Why didn't he stop the Holocaust or Jim Crow or slavery? Why is it that you went up and said, Jesus, Jesus, God, God, Jesus, Jesus, and you all ran around with tampons on your ears and garbage bags when you were called trash because you are trash? So God came down from heaven after all of these atrocities throughout the course of history, after the Holocaust, and he saved a rapist? Are you serious? You don't have critical thinking. You're too stupid because you keep voting for Republicans. That's why you're last in education. That's why you don't have money. That's why you're like this. Because you have nothing. And every 4 years, in every midterm, you keep going to the polling booths and goes, man, who can I blame? And you vote for Republicans. Blame the libtards. Blame the immigrants. Blame the brown people. Blame the transgenders. Blame the gay people. Blame the lesbians. Blame everybody that's not a straight white person. I will fix it. Don't worry. I'll punish your enemies. And you vote for them. And then they give tax breaks to rich people. And then they give them money back. And then they run the next cycle. It's not my fault. It's the libtards again. Oh, the next cycle. Oh, it's the liberals again. This time it's the gay people. This time it's the transgenders. And you do it again and again and again and again and again because you're idiots. And you're selfish. Because you're too stupid to see past your own ignorance and selfishness. You all have a choice, MAGA. You've chosen this path of hate, of deception, of vileness, of owning the libs, of nastiness. And if you're so proud of it, then I'm going to leave you with a challenge. I want every single one of you that have your crosses in your Bibles that say Donald Trump was sent from God, and I want you to sit your children down at the table on Sunday after church and explain why he owes E. Jean Carroll $80 million. Explain to them why you voted for a man that rapes women. Explain to your daughters why we've never had a woman president in 250 years. In fact, you voted for a man that rapes women and defends child molesters instead of voting for the most qualified black woman in the history of our country. And then I want you to play the Access Hollywood tape. Since he's such a Christian and God sent him here, you should have no problem playing the words of a great man of God, right? Play the Access Hollywood tapes for your daughters, your 5-year-olds, your 8-year-olds. Grab them by the PUSSY and you tell them how Christian that is. You tell me how that's respecting women. You tell your daughters that that's what a man should be. You go ahead and do that. I dare you. You know that it's wrong. And that's the difference. I love my neighbors as myself. I don't know E. Jean Carroll. I don't know the officers. I don't know the survivors on Epstein Island. But I love my neighbor. You only care about your damn self and your fucking wallet books. You're the most selfish people that God ever created. And yes, for all of you out there that keep saying, well, God said Donald Trump, he did. Sometimes God sends a useful idiot to expose the moral rot within his church. Make America white again. MAGA. And that's exactly what y'all did. And you proved it when you left your churches because your pastor wouldn't say the name of a racist podcaster who asked for the execution of Joe Biden and said dead Americans was worth the cost of the Second Amendment and questioned if a black pilot was qualified. You said exactly who you were with your vote. This is not a difference of politics. I don't like either political party. It's a difference of morality, and I find it rich that there's so many people in this country that aren't even religious or people of faith, they're agnostic, and they have more Christian values than they do. They have more morals, more decency, more empathy for people than all of you with your gold crosses, so you can shove them up your ass. And if you don't like it, you can ship your ass back to England at any time because that's where you came from. All of us, whether you like it or not, are an undocumented immigrant. And I'll leave you on this one note because I'm really sick of you people in your white supremacy blaming undocumented immigrants. And the Democrats do a piss poor job. Don't come and talk to me about law and order when you voted for a rapist and a 34-count convicted felon who caused an insurrection of this country, but then blame the dirty brown people from Mexico because they're stealing your jobs. Because I don't see any of you overweight, obese MAGA out there in the fields doing the jobs that they're doing. They're good people. And I would rather be friends with an undocumented immigrant than one of you fake-ass patriots out there with your guns and your Confederate flags that's about 800 pounds overweight. Have a white day.